Hello, dear friends. Welcome to this program, Our Moments with God, Our Moments with the Word of God. Yes, it is important to listen to the Word of God, especially if you hear both the readings today. Therefore, I always say moments with the Word of God, moments with the love, mercy, compassion, and forgiveness of God. Yes, we will come to that point again, forgiveness of God, and to spend our moments also with the holy ones of God, the saints of God, always thinking of what is happening within myself, because it is only through our heart, which becomes aware of its activities, can we raise it to the Lord. And I also invite you to be co-missionaries with me by sharing the videos with others and by asking your friends and to also subscribe to the channel, and thereby spread the Word of God, the message of the Word of God with everyone. Thank you. Today, as I said, both the readings, even the first letter of St. Paul, in the first reading from the letter of St. Paul to the Colossians, he is speaking about forgiving one another as God has forgiven you. And Jesus goes on further from yesterday's gospel, where he was speaking about blessed are the poor and woe to those who are rich, who are exploiting nature or exploiting poor people. You have had your fill, etc. He goes on further to say, and you, those who are listening now, listen to this. Love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. I find that this particular gospel is one of the most difficult gospels in the whole, or passage in the whole gospel and in the whole Bible. Love your enemies. Did you hear that? Love your enemies. Maybe we have become so used to hearing this so that it is just, like another verse in the gospel. But if one pays attention to this, love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. I really wonder how many of us have really once practiced this in our life. That's why I also say, yes, let us spend our moments with the saints of God, with the holy ones of God. They have in their life certainly practiced this. And maybe because they practice this, they have become holy and they have become saints. They took the word of Jesus seriously, and also of Paul, to love your enemies and pray for those who persecute you. And Jesus goes on to say the whole gospel is beautiful. And he says, judge not, and you shall not be judged. But this praying for enemies, I am reminded of the incident of Gladys Staines, the wife of Graham Staines, who was burnt alive along with his two sons, Timothy and Philip, just I think 8 years and 10 years old, while they were sleeping in their station wagon in Odisha. The Bajrang Dal people, the right-wing Hindutva fellows who do not know their own religion and who are against their own religion, came and burnt them alive. This is the terrible thing that they do. And what that they did is a terrible thing. But what Gladys Staines did a few hours after this incident, she came out on the public, and to the shocking ears and shocking public, she said, I forgive those who have done this to my husband and to my children. Can you imagine this lady standing in full public a few hours after her husband and her two beautiful little sons were murdered? She came out and said, I forgive the enemies. Something similar Nelson Mandela did. Although 26 years he was put in the prison, when he came out, he spoke about forgiveness and reconciliation with the people who had treated him badly and put him in prison. And there are many examples of the saints. Saint Stephen, remember when he was being martyred and stoned, the very first deacon, the very first martyr of the church, whose feast we celebrate on 26th of December. As people were stoning him, he knelt down and looking up to heaven, he said, do not hold this against them, Father. Why? Because they learnt it from their Lord and Master, our Jesus Christ, who was hanging on the cross and praying for these enemies and saying, Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing. Yes, it is possible. And I am sure you and I can be ready and would be ready to take up this challenge to forgive our enemies. And if you like, you may please subscribe to this channel. Thank you.